Good afternoon. Today it's beautiful here in Charlotte, and so I'm here to talk about loneliness. This is a big word, and everybody experiences loneliness, and that's one of the reasons it's always interested me. Even if you're in a great relationship, you can still have a feeling of loneliness. And then, of course, for those who are single, who are looking for relationships, then the loneliness is a little more obvious. But and then there's the question of souls, like soul mates. You hear that a lot, and of course, everybody wants a soulmate. Everybody wants, or soulmates, but everybody wants a connection on a deeper level than just ego, and then just stories. And so, as a society, right now, I think we're really starting to figure out what we want. We really are starting to understand that we want more than just what the average human relationship offers, which is physical pleasure or, tons of conflict, tons of drama and jealousy and argument and fear and control and so we're moving to where we can have more evolved relationships. And relationships doesn't just mean on a a lovers and two lovers standpoint. You can have a strong loving relationship with friends and with family, and then of course you have spiritual relationships, which is where a lot of loneliness comes in. As for me, I am sort of a lone rider in the spiritual world, or at least that's the way I felt for so many years recently. Studying all that I study and practicing all that I practice, it's hard to find someone who really sees life and God and reality as I do, and so I get this feeling of loneliness, and it's normal. It really is. Not to make the normal bring you comfort and peace. I don't know if that's really the correct way of creating peace, is through collective comfort, like saying, well, everybody's depressed, so it's okay to be depressed. No, not necessarily. But at the same time, at least you're doing your best. And it in a way, it is normal to feel lonely, especially when you go deeper and deeper into your spiritual practice, because it is such a new frontier. While religion is thousands of years old, all the rules and traditions are so comfortable for most people that they're not willing to give them up, to go deeper into what their religions are pointing at. And so that's where you have such a separation, or feeling of separation. And another piece of the puzzle is that we do, once you start moving higher and higher into spirituality, you don't want to offend anybody. You become a very loving and pure and a meek and humble soul, and so you don't want to throw somebody off, of their own beliefs. You want to respect where they are. So you're hesitant about having deep philosophical or spiritual conversations with people standing next to you or people that you've known for a long time, because you don't want the conflict that unfortunately happens. And so there's another source as to why you feel lonely. And it's part of the process. That's the answer I keep getting. The loneliness is part of the process. You don't have to be lonely on any of those degrees, whether it's, lovers, sort of the soulmate love, or it's family and friends love, or it's spiritual connection, which to me is the most important. I can survive without a girlfriend. I can survive without a wife. I can survive without friends and even family. But what I do need is spiritual friends. People who get what I get. Now I'm very blessed because I actually do have wonderful family relationships and friend relationships. But to me, what's almost more important is the spiritual relationships and connections that you have with others. So part of my website is for this purpose. It's for trying to connect liked minds, and open minds, and minds that want to share what they've learned and learn more. We always have more to learn. That's one of the amusing and beautiful things about this life and this reality is that there's so much to learn. It's seemingly infinite, and we need each other. At this point, like, we really do. We need a community to get together and start working together to build on these really powerful and transformational subjects and practices. And this is how we change the world. So this is a quick, brief thing on loneliness. Last thing on loneliness is it's really important to feel it. Don't run away from it. When you feel it inside you, you don't have to think about it. When I say label it, I don't mean think label. I don't mean put a mental thought of, oh, this is sad or this is loneliness. But label it as like just really feel it. Allow yourself to feel it. And the only way you're going to get past that feeling is if you allow yourself to feel it. Because it's okay. It's natural. Like, there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. It's just, but if it's happening, if it's occurring in your present moment, then you need to treat it with reverence and with care, just like you would treat a child. So just go into it, And what's very interesting that I've found is over time, as I've experienced this spiritual loneliness and then accepted it, and I had a desire to change it, of course. I want to get out and meet people that think like I do. But what I found is that didn't really work. What works, though, is when I just accept the feeling. If I accept the loneliness. And suddenly, all these people are coming to me. Like, I'm not even seeking anymore. They're just given to me. It's like, and that's the key. I think that's really it, is on this level, you can't just randomly find other spiritual minds. You have to let God connect you. You have to let your highest power connect you. You have to have the faith that, one, it exists, and two, it is in your favor when you allow it to work for you. And how else are you really going to meet a God friend other than through God, right? So just have faith. There's something in my teeth. No. Have faith that when you have this loneliness feeling, it's there for a reason. So feel it. Transcend it by going in it. Don't run away from it. And once you've fully accepted the reality, then it will change to the reality you wanted in the first place. But it's not going to change until you learn this initial lesson. The lesson is more valuable than the experience of having spiritual friends. And that gets into deeper concepts that I think we'll stay away from for right now. But know that you are not alone. If anything, you have at least one person that gets what you get, and that's me. And you may not have met me in person, but I exist, and I am grateful that you exist. So let's stay in contact, Let me know your name, let me know your story. I want to know more about you so that we can have a relationship. We don't have to live together or live in the same neighborhood or city even at this point in day and age. We can be best friends and never have actually met in person. That's the beauty of technology. So let's make it happen. I'm going to send you my highest love, which my highest love is my love for my daughter. She has the highest expression of love that I know exists, and so I'm going to send that to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful year, an entire year, not just a day. Have a fantastic year. Much love.